Hi book friends, my name is Jen, and this video will be all about the books in 2024 that I just did not like. 2024 overall was a great reading year. I did make a video of all of my favorite books of 2024, so please go check that out. Unfortunately, it was not all roses and sunshine. There were some books that I just did not like and a few that I completely DNF'd. But the good news is that there were so many more books that I loved than I didn't love. This list is in no particular order. So we're going to start out with The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. I read this with a book club, and I think I was the only one that didn't like it. And I think I'm the only one that did not continue in the series. I was very bummed though, because this one has been on my shelf for a really long time. And it has very strong Aladdin vibes. And Aladdin is one of my favorite Disney movies. Like, this one even had a djinn or a genie and a magic carpet. But something that I have realized about myself and my reading style in 2024, because this was not the only book I felt this way about. I do not like books that are mainly set in the desert. I just don't like that setting. I don't want to be immersed in that environment for an entire book. Which is odd and unexpected because I love movies that are set in the desert. I love the Dune movies. I love Aladdin. So I'm not sure what it was about this book. It was a slog to get through. The beginning of it was really entertaining, but as the book went on, I just liked it less and less. The next one is a book of short stories. When I bought this book and started reading it, I didn't know that it was a book of short stories. And I read another book by this author in 2023, and I really, really liked it. That was Tender as the Flesh. But the book that I read this year that I did not like was 19 Claws and a Blackbird. So when I found out that it was just a bunch of short stories, I was like, okay, that's cool. I've never really read a book like that before. Let's go. I really tried to figure out what was so special about these short stories. I looked up reviews on TikTok. People loved this. I just didn't get the hype. I drug myself through it because I thought this has to get better. There has to be a story in here that I like, that I relate to. Luckily, it was a very thin book, so it didn't take me a long time, but definitely unhauled that book right away. The next book was The Villa by Rachel Hawkins. Fun fact that I found out this year, Rachel Hawkins is also Aaron Sterling, who wrote the X-Hex. Same person, different names. I listened to this on audio. I thought that the premise of this book sounded so amazing. 2 timelines, same location, uncovering secrets of something that happened at this location years ago. And it just fell so flat for me. There was not a single time that I was shocked or surprised. Sometimes it was hard to keep the characters straight. The best thing about this book is the cover. And the last book on this list is one that actually made me angry. And that doesn't happen very often. At the beginning of 2024, I would have said that Tessa Bailey is one of my favorite romance authors. I loved Hook, Line, and Sinker, and It Happened One Summer. But when I got to Secretly Yours, I can't tell you how much I loathed this book. I'm going to be honest with you. I did an entire review of this book in a video previously. So if you want more information, you can go check out that video. Although I can't remember exactly which video it was. But I think that my brain shut down on this book because I don't really remember why I didn't like this book very much, or what it was about this book that made me so angry. I think that was like a coping mechanism or a defense mechanism that my brain is pulling on me right now. All I know is I really, really hated this book. On to the DNFs. There was only 3 DNFs. The first one was a total shock to me, and it is The Stolen Heir by Holly Black. The Folk of the Air trilogy, which is The Cruel Prince, The Queen of Nothing, and The Wicked King. I think those are the 3 names. Loved those books. Ate those books up. Loved the world. Was so excited to read The Stolen Heir. Could not get through it. I found it was so boring. It was hard to keep track of what was going on. I was not excited to pick it up, so I didn't. I put it down and I walked away. The Folk of the Air original trilogy will always have a space in my heart. Every other book past there, not so much. This one was also a shocker, sort of, because it's a Brandon Sanderson book. So that was the shocker. But it's also a graphic novel. That wasn't a shocker because I don't really like graphic novels that much. This was White Sands. There's 3 volumes in this, and I did read it on a Kindle. I did read the first volume, but I DNF'd the series in the second volume. First of all, I absolutely did not like the artwork. It was really boring. It was really hard to follow. Surprise, surprise, it was set in a desert. Maybe that's why I didn't like it. I did not understand what was so interesting about what was going on. I feel like there was no highs and lows. It was just completely mid the entire time. And then I found out that it doesn't really matter if you read this book. It will not affect your reading of other Cosmere books. So I let it go. And the last one is a sci-fi book that I actually started a couple of times in 2024 and had to DNF it a couple of times. That is How to Lose the Time War, or How You Lose the Time War, or whatever this book says right here, because I don't have it anymore because I got rid of it. It was so confusing. It hurt my brain. This was another book that I put down and looked up reviews of, and so many people loved this book, and I just didn't understand it. And even though it's a fairly short book, I probably could have pushed through to the end. I didn't want to do that to myself. I don't want to read books that I'm not enjoying. So put it down, unhauled it right away. Told you this was going to be a fairly short video. 2024 was a great reading year. These were the only negatives. It is my hope that at the end of 2025, my worst books of 2025 will be just as small. And that's all I have for you. So thanks for sticking around. I would love to know in the comments what your worst book of 2024 was. All of my socials are linked below. I would love to connect with you on those platforms. I appreciate all your likes, your comments, your subscribes. And until the next time, happy reading.